What's up, America? This is Game Time, Dynasty Game Time, coming to you live from Temple, Texas, and Killeen, Texas. I'm your host, Russell Maybin. This is my best friend, Jaye Thompson in Killeen, Texas. And we are about to pick up our discussion where we left it off last time with the free agent action in the NFL. What's happening, my man?
Oh, what's going on, man? We going back to back. What's up?
I mean, you're getting out of control over here with your participation. You're killing me. Can't believe it. If you want, we can go back and rehash the Tom Brady discussion. I know you missed talking about him a lot. So if you want, we can do that.
Yeah, I saw they waited for him to exit to do something with the uniforms today. Oh, it's coming or whatever.
All right, do you want to go there? Because I've got I'm all about the uniforms and the uniform numbers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, let's go there, man.
I thought the Patriots uniforms looked way older. They looked more like the 70s or something. And then I thought the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I couldn't tell the difference in them and the ones that they had last year. And then the Browns, I couldn't tell the difference in the ones they had this year and last year. And, these fashion people are thinking I'm like committing this heinous crime. But I really don't know the difference. I mean, it's like it's hard to tell. I kind of like what the Falcons did. But man, I mean, if you're going to change them, do something cool, man. I mean, goodness gracious, these people keep changing these uniforms, and it's like, I think Indianapolis changed like the font on their numbers, and that was it.
Right.
And it was like, y'all had the worst uniforms in the league, and then now y'all have added, now y'all can't change them again for 5 more years. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, they did something like with a C in the, you can see the state in it or something like that emblem.
It's awful.
Yeah, people get paid a lot of money to do that, to design.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're broke as a joke, and these people are getting paid, all the bucks to come up with these great uniforms, and they're terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be a thing where you just change the uniform, and all of a sudden, like, you're good.
Right.
Remember that was happening,
right.
Early
on.
The
Bengals, they used to have just Bengals on them, and they were terrible. And then all of a sudden, they put the stripes on. It's like, oh, hey, here we go. Going to the playoffs. Going to Super Bowl. We're going to beat the 49ers. No, we're not. But, yeah, for sure. All right, man. Well, let's dip back in here to these running backs and hit the value in Dynasty only. All right. So, remember, we're only focusing on Dynasty going forward. So, Derrick Henry, let's think about him in our leagues. I'm not mistaken, he's in the middle or end of contracts in all of our leagues for the most part. So Derrick Henry re-signing with the Titans. First of all, do you think that's permanent? And how do you like that fit? Do you think what was going on at the end of the year is going to keep happening, or are they going to go back to everything they were doing before that?
I think it's going to keep happening, but the longevity of it keep happening. I think we kind of touched on this a little bit. For some reason, I remember talking about this. Maybe it was just me and you talking.
No, but, we hit it on the show, but we were talking about, I think, Tannehill re-signing with the Titans.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Go hand in hand.
You were like, I don't know. Are they going to give the ball to Henry 40 times? I mean, if they are, then this is stupid.
But it seems like that's going to be their identity, I guess. So,
okay. He was drafted the same year as Zeke, so this is year 4. How confident are you that he's – no, year 5. Year 5. 16, 17, 18, 19. This is 20. Yeah. This will be 5th year. Franchise. How confident are you that he's going to play 16 games if we play 16 games this year?
I'm confident he can do 16. It's just the question is, would you sign him like to a 3-year deal kind of thing? And I mean, I'll go all in next year with him until –
21? 21 or 20?
20.
20. Okay.
All this shit on him, and then
what if he's in the 2nd year of a 3-year deal? You on board?
I'm on board.
Okay. Me too. But that's even like stretching my comfort level with running backs.
Yeah. I just this after that, I don't. I mean, it's one of them things where he's going to get touchdowns. But like I said in the last episode, I want to see their identity. What are they the team that was doing the regular season when they let Tannehill throw it some, or are they just going to be the team that they won the playoffs and just running Henry to the
Pulled out
ground?
the wishbone, and yeah, they did. Yeah,
Third and 18,
yeah,
run, dive, play.
yeah. I'm with you on your analysis. I think he's going to do fine. He's going to get yards. He's going to get touches. He's going to get goal line carries. So I think he's going to be a fantasy mainstay. I think he's going to be trustable as a starting running back, a running back one every single week. But my whole problem for Derrick Henry is, where the heck was this 3 years ago or 4 years ago? I mean, they should have been pounding this dude in 2016. They may not have had to change coaches. So yeah,
that's what happens when you don't do, go with your talent.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's talk about our first guy that actually switched teams, and that's going to be Melvin Gordon going to the Broncos. They already have Philip Lindsay. They are going to go with a young quarterback. I think they even cut Flacco because of a failed physical. So
wow, that's bad when you don't even know, because I don't either.
Well, I think it was medical. It wasn't.
I'm talking about like they cut him. I can't remember, they cut him, released him, I guess.
Well, to be fair, and this is my humble opinion, I've never felt like Joe Flacco was relevant in fantasy since 2008 when he came into the league.
Yeah.
I really haven't. Like, he's never done anything fantasy wise. He's never even been, to me, a QB2.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, he's just kind of like
he just a minute there. He was doing the tight end thing, and then Pitta and all of them got what
Heap.
Then he had the one.
He had Todd Heap Q. I mean, Heap, not Heap Q. We thought his name was Todd Heap Q because he was always questionable. But
yeah, then he would have every once in a while they have a guy that he just throw it deep to,
or a guy that they thought that people were going to throw it deep to, like Travis Taylor. Remember they drafted the dude out of Florida. It's like everybody's like, oh, hey, this is the year. This is because they drafted him in the top 10. Well, no, they're never going to throw it to him. All right, so Melvin Gordon. All right, so Melvin Gordon going to Denver. They got Philip Lindsay. They're going with a young quarterback. They've got Cortland Sutton. They've got a tight end that they believe in,
Right.
and they're rumored to be in the market for one of these young wide receivers. So all that in mind, how is Melvin Gordon grabbing you?
Well, this show was made for Melvin Gordon because when that went across, it just changed a whole lot of people's teams in our leagues.
Yep.
I mean, it was just one of those.
My hands up. Right. Your hands up.
brother. Brother, I feel your pain. But yeah, that move affected a lot of dynasty teams because you went from Gordon being one to now, exactly. Yeah.
What was our word last time? What?
Yeah, that he's made for the what category?
What?
Because one thing to go to a team, because it's like, I don't know if he just getting bad his agent representation or what, but he held out and then he came back. Like, he half held out, so he didn't do that right. Then
lost a bunch of money. All right, now let's come back without the money. All right. What?
Right. Then you do this, and then you go to a team that you're gonna, I would say, split with, but
they're talking about extending Philip Lindsay. Like, they're already signing a contract extension, and I'm like,
right. And then
I don't know.
I don't like the fact that it's almost like he signed there just for revenge, and that's not real mature to me. I would want to pay them twice a year.
Well, he went to Wisconsin. I mean, it's not like he got a quality education. So, I don't like this move not because I'm a Philip Lindsay owner, but to me, it kind of kills his value and Philip Lindsay's value in one fell swoop. You're
big
never.
time.
It's going to be like the Patriots, where you don't know who to trust and who to start. And so to me, this move just smells. I don't like it.
Right.
I'm glad I don't own him. I would rather own Philip Lindsay because he's younger and he runs. Philip Lindsay just runs angry. He runs like he's ticked off and he wants to prove something. He
Right.
kind of reminds me that like Eckler.
Right. Like he been told he was too small his whole football life.
Oh wait, because he was. Yeah.
Right.
I remember listening to the draft show for the Cowboys, and they were covering running backs that year that Lindsay came out, and I remember them saying kind of like, yeah, I mean, Philip Lindsay, yeah, I mean, he's kind of interesting, but I just don't know if his body can hold up and this and the other. And man, I think he scored a touchdown week 1, just kind of like, hey, on your nose at the authority, man. Forget y'all, I'm out of here.
Yeah, and then you go back and look at his stats. I think it was like Colorado or something. And I mean, he was like just tearing it up.
It was their offense.
It's like, did they even get stats in Colorado? You know what I'm saying? And this dude was running around here like with stats and
is
big
Colorado
numbers.
a D1 school? They're D1. Are they D1? They're D1. Right? Okay. So you've seen him on TV. Okay. All right.
Man. So, Gordon, that was a big. I mean, it was some. I mean, I know me and Jeff was going back and forth in the UFC about it. Like we had some big time stuff on the table, maybe to make a move, but I just didn't, know where he was going to end up.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't do it, and we kept it open, but now, pretty much shut. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might be open if it's right to send Lindsay his way, but I'm trying to get away from. I know handcuffing and stuff, but
but I don't want that backfield at all. Like, all right, forget it.
Right, and then it comes to a point to where roster spots. I mean, if you can handcuffing all day, then that's a spot that I need for somebody that playing.
Yeah,
so that's a big part coming in Dynasty.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got a champion maker coming up next. A guy that almost single-handedly just walked people to championships like Lamar Jackson did last year. Todd Gurley, going back home to Georgia. Does that ever work when you go back home to where you're from? But he's going back home to Georgia, taking the midnight train to Georgia. So he's going to have Matt Ryan. He's going to have Julio Jones. He's going to have Calvin Ridley. He's going to have Hayden Hurst. So there's stuff in place. They won't have Kyle Shanahan, so their offense is still trying to figure out how to work without him. But so they tried the seasoned running back with Freeman last year. That didn't work out too well. What do you think? What are you feeling about Gurley?
Well, when have we seen such a decline? Like, I actually feel kind of bad for him, man, because whatever is going on with him is real. Like, you can't bypass a team just saying, you know what, you scored 30 touchdowns, but we rather you not touch the ball this game. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they were scoring all these points, and he just wasn't getting the ball. And I don't trust it. I mean, you might get a good season out of him, maybe one, but I think in the end it's going to come out and, we're going to find out like, man, he really was, damaged goods.
Well, first of all, he came out with a degenerative knee condition. They already knew that from the beginning. Like they knew he was only going to last so long, right? The other thing is, I saw a tweet the other day that goes, guys, can we all come to the realization that Todd Gurley is 25 years old?
And I mean, that's the point.
He's 25. Like there are players coming into the draft this year that are 25. Like he's 25, and we're talking about him like he's 50.
Right, right.
Like,
I
it's like,
mean,
can we all just understand that this dude is 25 years old?
and
And
I remember trying to get him the last couple of years so bad from Joe in the UFC,
I,
and
I wish you
because
would
like you
have.
say, he was just destroying folks. I mean, he was Marshall Falk, and it was just um
Did
all of
you
a
ever
sudden.
did you ever have Marshall Falk back in the day, redraft or dynasty? Back when he was really good, like
I
2099.
mean, I was in enough leagues to imagine I had him somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think I
But
ever had him when he was any good. Man, that would have been so much fun. Like every week, 30 points. Like, okay, cool. All right. Maybin starting with 30 this week. Let me just tell you that right now.
right. And the thing I was watching, because we ain't got nothing to do, so I've been, I saw a game, and I was like, oh yeah, the Colts, Marshall Falk, and it's like you forget all about that part. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, by the way, he had 5 years before he even set foot in Los Angeles or St. Louis, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
and
man,
Peyton Manning like credited him with like teaching him how to play quarterback, to some degree, because he was so smart. He would see blitzes and change the protection and help him learn, all that kind of stuff.
mm,
Super smart, I mean, just a great running back. And that was that was the second part of his career. I know we look at it like, oh, he's
right,
5 years
right.
in the league. Oh, he's dead. He's done. He's through. And he was just
Right,
getting
right.
started, man.
And that was one of the going back to Gurley. One of the reasons why I kept trying to get Gurley was I would go look him up and I see his age, and I'll be like, "Wow, man,
Gurley age 24. Gurley's knees age 48. Like, dang. Ah.
you can't." I just kept going back to the age, but you can't. So I didn't know it was I knew he blew his knee out. I didn't know it was a knee issue coming into the
Yeah,
league.
he had like the same thing that Ron Leary had when he came out.
Mhm.
I got a rabbit trail for just a second. I read an article about the Raiders taking Sebastian Janikowski with the 17th pick in the first round. I didn't remember it was that high. I thought it was later in the round, but they took him at the 17th pick. And so I was just like, I looked it up, and and on the Pro Football Reference, it has like all their, what team, what pick. Then it has like number of all pro seasons, number of years as the team's primary starter at that position, and then what year they left the league. And so I'm thinking, boy, this Sebastian Janikowski, awful draft pick. That is one of the
Oh
dumbest,
yeah, no,
one of the
yeah,
dumbest things I've ever seen.
yeah,
And
no.
so, anyways, I was looking at it and I was like, you know what? There's a couple of teams down here that are like, you know what? Hold my beer. Watch this. And it because they took a receiver in the first round,
uh,
and he was
uh,
out of the league the very next year. He didn't even
right,
play his second year. It
right,
was RJ Soward
wow.
with the Jacksonville Jaguars and Sylvester Morris with the Kansas City Chiefs. Never played in the league after their rookie year. They got like 300 yards and was like, all right, man, we're out. So, and then I started looking at it, and so it was going through like what year they finished playing, and at the bottom of that round was Trung Candidate. Remember Trung?
Oh yeah,
So,
oh yeah.
Trung Candidate. I was like, oh, Trung Candidate. Yeah, man, he had a couple of good years with the Rams. Yeah, he did. That's about it. He left the league in 2003. He only lasted 3 years.
Yeah, I think he actually got a contract to go to the Jets or somewhere. I can't
Yeah,
remember where it was.
yeah.
And they actually paid him. Yeah, somebody did.
But
But
it just spoke volumes to me, because we trade draft picks like crazy in our dynasty leagues.
mhm,
The NFL can't even hit in the draft. And I was
right,
going
right.
through it, and I started looking at years as primary starter. And as the draft went down, it kind of like 1 2 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 1 2 1 0. And it's like it's pretty much like if you get to like the fourth or fifth round in a draft, it's like, come on, daddy needs a new pair of
Right,
shoes.
right.
You know what I mean? If you hit, it's like they're a Pro
Right,
Bowler, Hall of Famer, All
right,
Pro, but it's like there's no in between.
right,
I mean, it's not
right.
like you're going to come up with a solid starter on the third day of the draft. I mean, for you to come up with a Tom Brady or, a Stephon Diggs, or these late round people that just end up being Pro Bowlers and all that, like pie in the sky, like rare air stuff, man.
And that's why it just blows my mind when, all these guys act like they know. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's what made me get more involved, because I'm like, I can do what they doing.
We do.
Right. Right.
I remember one year we watched the draft at Corey's house, and we were all like,
"Well, you remember everything."
We almost picked the first round. It was the first 15 picks.
Right.
Both. I was in the 99th percentile on the 13th pick, and he was in the 99th percentile on the 14th pick. And it got down to it, and we were doing better than Mel Kiper. We worked at Walmart. Like, come on, man, it's crazy. All right, anyway.
Hey, no. Let me go with the rabbits this time. Hey, I'm watching the '85 Bears against the Dolphins on Monday night when we beat them, right? The
only ones that did. Yeah.
Huh?
The only ones that did. I wish I would have beat the Patriots in the AFC Championship game to see.
Right. Now, and watching that, I don't even remember us in that game. I remember the Monday night game, but I didn't know we were that close to going to the Super Bowl. But first off, I was like 10 years old, but I remember that game, so that just let me know how soon I was involved in football like I am. But Butler, the kicker for the
Kevin
Bears,
mm-hmm.
4th round pick, they said that. I'm like, what? Man, so it's just like you're saying, Janikowski, like kickers were actually getting drafted, like for real.
Yeah, but that was weird. I mean,
so and then
weird.
And watching the game, that they actually, it was times in the game where they would go up to the Bears would go up to snap the ball, and because the crowd was too loud, he would just back off, and the refs would like try to get the crowd to be quiet.
No, they would not.
Man, watch that. It happened like 7 times in that game, man. And man, it was so crazy. And then because Jim McMahon didn't play. It was like Jim Fuller or something. But he would go up to the line and
Steve Fuller, sorry.
And he would be like, I can't hear. Yeah. So he'll just back off. And I'm like, what? And so
you big sissy, get under there, take the snap, let's go.
So Joe Namath and O.J. Simpson are the commentators, and and then somebody
Joe's looking for women, and O.J.'s.
And they was like, well, they're gonna have to come up with a rule about this, because only thing what happens when they came back to the line, the crowd would just get louder. I'm like, I don't even remember that being a thing.
Me either.
But, man, if you ever got 5 minutes, look at it. But I'm listening to it, and they made a comment. Somebody said something about a car or something, and one of the commentators said to OJ, man, he said, Nicole wouldn't let you get that car and do that with her. How pretty she is or something. I'm like, wow, man, this game is just crazy. All the stuff but anyway. But it just blew my mind that it was actually a thing. If it's too loud, you can just not snap the ball, and you can get away with it.
When you watch those old games, you're every play, you're like, oh, that's a 15-yard penalty now. What are you doing?
Oh, my goodness.
He touched the quarterback.
He was getting destroyed. Willie Goat was running the post, and it was like, you can tell.
Diving at him with his head.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you this. So the next one on the list is Jordan Howard. What's your Dynasty feedback on him?
You want an objective opinion from somebody that's not a Miami Dolphins fan?
Yeah, there you go.
To me, Jordan Howard's value is completely linked to what the Miami Dolphins do in the draft. Because I really feel like he's really done nothing but produce when he's been healthy. Like last year, he missed some games, but when he was in there, he was doing fine.
Right, right.
He's had a good career. Got him fairly cheap. I don't think they're going to pay him and not play him. So I mean, I think he's going to be startable, RB2, RB3 kind of guy. Somebody that you could use as a flex if you needed to. But I wouldn't go hanging my hat on him or anything like that. I really feel like they're going to take one of these rookies in the probably day 2. So that's kind of how I'm feeling. Were you excited about the signing?
No. I mean, I don't got nothing against him. Like you say, he's decent.
Yeah.
He's okay. I mean, he's actually, I saw some stat where, like, since he's been in the league, he's like top 4 rusher or something like that.
Yeah.
Something you wouldn't think about.
He's
like
done fine.
Right.
He's done
but
fine.
I just know we're going to draft for running back. Like you're saying, it's going to be one of the, top 5 running backs. So what does that do? Do we turn into, because it's New England tree that kind of, you just don't know what running back to play that week kind of thing?
Yeah.
So
could be.
Yeah.
I don't know, but they didn't feel like they could use Kenyon Drake, and he ended up being okay. Yeah. All right.
I don't see his name on here, man. Why you brought that guy name up for?
You want to do him instead of Peyton Barber? Because Peyton Barber would be boring. Let's do Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake staying in Arizona. I'm a big fan. I picked him up on the cheap. I don't think you're trading him to me in the other league though.
No.
He seemed to fit in that offense like
there you go.
Love. Right. And the bringing him back, the talking extension with him. I think he has RB1 potential this year. Just in general with running backs, if you let me run a team like in the NFL, not a fantasy team, an NFL team, I'm drafting a running back on day 2. And after 3 years or so, I'm drafting another one on day 2 and trying to trade the other guy for the day 2 pick that I use. That way I never have to pay for the running back. And I'm doing it like that. I may draft some later guys to kind of fill, some day 3 guys to kind of fill in. I'm never signing a running back from another team. I'm never extending a running back for a second contract. I'll let everybody else take all that risk because I'm taking the rule, not the exception every time. If you end up with Frank Gore, man, God bless you. I mean, that's just fantastic for you. But if you let me do it, that's the way I'm going about it. So that's the only way I would ever deal with running backs.
Oh, but I mean, but when it comes to, you're exactly right. But we just saw McCaffrey get paid, and so right. And they're doing it, so I guess we don't know what we're talking about because it ain't like they paying big dollars to do that kind of stuff. So
what happened when Jacksonville put Leonard Fournette on the market? He's like,
I haven't heard nothing yet.
Bueller, something do economics, voodoo economics. Okay. All right, David Johnson. All right, when I got the news in sections, so I got.
Oh, I know it did come out like that. Yeah. Yeah.
I got David Johnson traded to the Texans. I'm like, okay, that's
right,
a pretty solid little move right there.
Right.
I even texted my Texans friend. I'm like, hey man, I just traded for David Johnson. And I thought in the back of my mind, because I'd heard whispers about Hopkins, I'm like, on the back of my mind, I should include it in there. I hope y'all didn't give up Hopkins to get him. Man, about 5 minutes later, here comes. Oh, by the way, they gave up DeAndre Hopkins.
It's like it's another part of that trade. It's like, wow.
So David Johnson walks into this. He walks into Watson. He walks into Fuller, which there's 9 games you're not going to get to play with that guy. You got Randall Cobb, and you've got Brandon Cooks and Darren Phillips, I believe, at tight end. So I mean, potential.
But isn't I think David Johnson kind of goes back to Gurley a little bit with me, meaning that I don't know his age.
Kind of, but he came out same year as Gurley, but kind of, but not really. He came out at an older age, but he's never hurt anything really lower body. It's like he hurt his wrist and and all that kind of stuff. So I mean,
I don't understand. Like, what did he do where he just lost? It's almost like because he could catch. He was catching the ball.
When he came out, he was listed as a tight end on our draft boards.
Wow.
He came out. He played tight end in or H back kind of in college. So he can
I just remember him getting on the field and like instantly doing good.
Yeah.
And I mean,
and then they signed him to a contract, and the son of a gun fell off the face of the earth.
I think that's somebody when it comes to Dynasty that I mean, if you could buy low, it could pay off because of the offense and because of we've seen them do it. And like you're saying, it's not like it's a ACL or.
And don't think that Bill O'Brien is not going to try to put David Johnson in somebody's face for getting rid of DeAndre Hopkins.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, there's a psychological component to a lot of this stuff.
And this is why you put a 3-year contract on them, not, but they made who was that last year?
For the Texans?
Yeah, the running back.
Duke Johnson and Carlos Hyde.
Yeah. They made Carlos Hyde like a running back. You know what I'm saying? This dude went from Cleveland to the Chiefs, like 2 yards a carry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, then all of a sudden.
He's played for like 6 teams already, Carlos Hyde.
And
he's probably 25 too. He's not. All right, let's look at some wide receivers. But anyways, go ahead.
But to see that offense actually made him a viable running back. So sure. I believe in the offense and believe in
Duke Johnson's still there though.
Play Watson a certain way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a good move right there if you can get that dynasty wise. But it's
make sure you don't have a contract on him long term.
That's the tricky part.
Yeah.
When it comes to him.
All right. Wide receivers. Emmanuel Sanders got a new quarterback. So he's going to be the number 2 option likely in New Orleans by the time the season rolls around. 33, coming off an Achilles a year and a half ago. He's got Breeze. He's got Kamara. He's got Michael Thomas. He's got who do they have at tight end now? Jared Cook?
Yeah.
Cook still. Yeah, Cook. So
South Click.
What do you think about that one, Emmanuel Sanders?
Well, if you would have asked me this last year, I would have said, like you said, he was coming off of Achilles. I wouldn't have done nothing with him. I would have left it alone because that's one of those injuries that as a
come back
athletic wise is not good. But he came to the Niners and
showed out.
He was like, what Achilles? You know what I'm saying? He was getting deep. He was intermediate.
There's never been a running back that's ever come back from an Achilles injury. The most recent one was the Texas running back, Deontay Foreman. There's never been one that's recovered from one. You remember guys like Rashard Mendenhall and Mikael LaSure and people like that. The reason you never heard from them again was because they tore an Achilles tendon. All right, man. Thanks. Appreciate it. So I think it's a running back thing.
I just figured, because I've seen some couple of corners that once they do it, I mean, we know Sherman did it, but you seen he was a step slow. At least
he was already a step slow, so he kind of was used to that anyways.
But like you said, with Sanders, it's the offense. He, man, I like it for a year, but I think they're going to draft somebody.
I do too. I think number one, they are going to draft somebody. Number two, love it for this year.
Right.
For this year, I think he can be as high as a wide receiver 2 this year. He's got that potential, especially with that offense and that quarterback. And he's a 33-year-old. He's been around. He's been in the league for 11 years. He knows
Savvy.
how to. He knows where to get. He knows how to read a defense. He knows where to be. You don't make it that long in the league if you don't know what you're doing. Like the dumb guys that are, they're on their athletic ability. They usually kind of flame out. This dude knows what he's doing. So I like it for this year. I'm with you. If you asked me if you had 2 years left on a 3-year contract, I'd be like, never mind. I'll draft somebody.
And that's a big part when it comes to a lot of these guys we're going to talk to. Is the draft is so heavy at receiver. Stuff is going to look totally different next week.
Yep.
Totally different.
Yeah, we might have a show about that. All right, so Stephon Diggs coming into your division over there with Miami. You've got Josh Allen. Throws it really hard. Doesn't necessarily know where it's going. You got John Brown. You got Cole Beasley. You got Devin Singletary. You got Dawson Knox. So there are some pieces around this dude. How do you like the fit there with Josh Allen?
I like the fit, and the only reason why, well, there's a lot of reasons, but one of the main ones was I don't know what game I was watching, but they gave a stat of contested catches and how good Diggs is at that. I mean, you would look at him, you wouldn't think he's one of those jump ball kind of guys, and I don't even think it'd be jump balls, but he just somehow when this contested, he comes down with the ball. And because
he's a receiver. He knows how to play receiver in the NFL.
You mean that when you put your fingers talking like one of your kids, and you know, but
sit your behind down.
and because of Josh Allen, kind of gunslinger, and like you said, you don't know where the ball is going. With someone like Diggs, he just want opportunity. So just throw it up. And so I can see a lot of that happening where it's just, you know what, this player is just going to Diggs. We're going to have like 5 of those a game where, what, I don't know what the defense is doing, but I'm going to take my steps back and I'm going to throw it Diggs. Kind of thing.
To use a Jayism, I'm going to drop back there and skin it.
Right.
I totally agree. I think Diggs, if I was to say, all right, list out his qualities and what he's really good at, you'd sit there with a blank look on your face. He's not inordinately fast. He's not really big. He doesn't have, unusual quickness. He just knows how to play receiver. I don't know what to tell you, man. He gets open and catches the ball. That's it. He just knows what he's doing. So I like it. I don't love it. I think he's got a wide receiver 2 probably ceiling.
What?
I don't think he's going to be a top 12. I don't think he's going to be top 12 amongst the wide receivers.
Well, one thing about him is we know he got the diva trait. Now
he talked himself out of Minnesota, so yeah.
Oh, he got the diva trait. So we're gonna know real quick if he's
liking
work
it or not. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to tell itself real quick.
Yeah, but he's super competitive too, so I can't see him. He wanted a trade. He got a trade. So shut up and play football. And he's really competitive. So I think it's going to work out okay, but I don't think it's going to be great. I don't think he's going to sneak into the top 12. You think he can?
I think he can. I mean, I'm just keep looking at Allen can throw it a long ways, and that's all that Diggs just want is opportunity. That's what his whole argument was in Minnesota was. It was almost the Theo and Witten thing. You know what I'm saying? You just like throwing it to him, kind of thing. And I'm like, I'm open and I'm making these great catches and yards. Just keep throwing it to me,
Yeah.
So.
Oh, for sure. All right, Robbie Anderson. I'm a Robbie Anderson owner, and I got to tell you, if I was to list out the 32 teams in the NFL where I wanted Robbie Anderson to land, Carolina would have been near the bottom of that list. I'm not excited about this mix. I love Teddy Bridgewater to death. He's a really solid dude. I don't have a lot of confidence in his quarterback skills. I think he's closer to Geno Smith than he is to Lamar Jackson. And I'm not liking this very much. I think he's got wide receiver two ceiling at the very, very best. But I think he's likely a wide receiver 3 or 4 with Carolina.
Right, and I agree. But what, like a 1-year deal? Was it 1 year, 2 years?
2 years, 20 or something like that.
Yeah.
2 years, 20.
And I know I think the connection he played under Rule in college.
Played under Rule in college, and he was under Rule's rule. And then they got Joe Brady running the offense from LSU, so they're gonna be like just like Joe Burrow and Justin Jefferson and all them.
60 touchdowns, man.
Yeah, they're gonna score 60 touchdowns this year, so it'll be all right. I'm not really feeling it. I was really disappointed. I have him on the last year of a 2-year deal, and I was kind of like, well,
yeah.
At the end of this year, they can take their chances with him. I don't think it's going to work out. If it does, man, great. I found my wide receiver 3 in that one league, but I'm not expecting that.
Right. Now, I just don't see offensively a good fit when it comes, like you said, Bridgewater and him. That's not Bridgewater game to me. And then trust me, Corey doesn't let me know. Bridgewater is not, they won some games, but he's just a distributor. It's not going to be gunslinging type stuff. And a lot of Robbie Anderson stuff has got to be over the top. Because he's a little dude. So, I just don't see them dialing up that many plays. It's just kind of the opposite of what I was talking about with Diggs. I just don't see them saying, you know what, we're going to make sure you get the ball this many times. You just don't warrant that to me.
Yeah.
But I could be biased because of the Jet thing. So
I hated him when he was with the Jets. I hate him now. I'm just kidding. So Cowboys lost Randall Cobb. He went to the Texans. So he stayed in Texas, so he didn't have a state income tax. So that's smart. They threw a bunch of money at him. And he was drafted, and I think I took him in the 2010 draft, 2011, something like that. So he's old, man. He's like 31, 32. They gave him a big contract and all that kind of stuff. He's going to be working with, like we talked about, Cooks and, Deshaun Watson and David Johnson and those kind of cats. How's that one grabbing you?
I'm not feeling it. But as a Cowboy fan, because I didn't feel it when y'all got him. Because it was like it wasn't like no free agency frenzy when y'all got him. It was after the fact. You know what I'm saying? It was like, okay, okay, you come here. But he produced. I was surprised. He was actually decent.
The only reason that even worked out is, number one, he's a vet. He was really smart. He was a good locker room guy, and he helped Dak get better and all that kind of stuff. But the other thing was, he just played all the games. He was healthy. He only missed like 1 or 2 games. He's been missing 5, 6, 7 games a year, for the last several years. So yeah, I'm not feeling it. Right. I will. My Randall Cobb story is this: I had picks 6 and 7 in the first round the year that he came out. I remember it was 10 or 11 or 12. It was somewhere around there. But I had those picks, and I was like, okay, I need some receivers. I'm gonna load up on some receivers. I'm gonna get going here. Get my receiver room happening. So I drafted Randall Cobb and Jonathan Baldwin. Let's just say I'm glad Cobb worked out.
Oh, man. And there's some haterade with him, too, because he got the pretty eyes, so I don't like them. Yeah, I'm sure of it. I hate them. Yeah.
Nope. Reminds me of me. Yeah. All right, Amari Cooper staying in Dallas. He's got Kellen Moore coming back as offensive coordinator. He's got Mike McCarthy. He's got Dak. He's got Blake Jarwin. He's got Michael Gallup. He's got Zeke.
Love it. I
got a lot of opinions on this guy, but what do you have to say about?
That's not even a question. We can move on. That's unless you just got to say something. But yeah, that's.
You don't have anything to say about the home road split?
The what?
The home road split.
What that mean?
What that means is he plays 8 games a year. If you ever look at it, last year when we went to Washington, that was his first road touchdown as a Cowboy.
Wow.
Yeah, he doesn't catch the ball. We don't throw him the ball on the road. He doesn't catch the ball on the road. He doesn't score on the road. If you look at his weekly scoring, it's like you don't even need to look at the opponent. You can go, that's a home game, road game, home game, home game, road game, road game, home game. I mean, you can just look and tell.
Is that a Cowboy fan thing, or that is?
No, that's real.
No, what I mean is, as a Cowboy fan, you figured that out, or is this?
Yeah, as a Cowboy fan and as a Dynasty owner, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I mean, he was at the end of a contract this year, and so I was looking around for like people to trade for, and I was just kind of like, Amari, well, that's crap. They play road games. I don't know.
I love it, and it's a sense, I would invest in him because he want to be there.
He does.
Because there was rumors he could have got more.
He could have.
Right. So I mean, money talk.
It does. But at the same time, I mean, you and I are broke, so we get this. But if somebody offered you $20 million and somebody else offered you 22, I mean,
well, I thought I heard it was more than that.
No, it wasn't. It's 22 a year versus 20 a year. I mean, yes, there's a difference. There's $2 million is a difference. But when you're making 20, I mean, 2 is kind of like, whatever. Let me look at the whole situation. But yeah, he does want to be there, and he does fit well. And he is only 25 years old. He actually is. He's like younger than a lot of the veterans in the league. So, young guy. Yeah, whatever. Hopefully he'll play some road games this year. We'll see. All right. DeAndre Hopkins going into Cliff Kingsbury, Kyler Murray, Larry Fitzgerald, Christian Kirk, allegedly, Kenyon Drake. Do they have a tight end? I don't know. Never heard of him. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if the office, designed to have one.
No, I don't think so. I think it's more like, let's see how many wide receivers we can find to put on the field.
Because then they drafted a bunch of them last year.
Yeah, Keem Butler. Yeah.
And Isabella, whatever his name.
Yeah, Andy Isabella.
So,
got to give some white people some love sometimes, Jay. Andy Isabella, one of the fastest players in the draft. So Nuke in his new digs, what are you thinking?
All day, every day, man. I mean, still top receiver in the league, going to get opportunities.
Yeah.
Because of Murray, you got to play it a certain way so he don't get red zone stuff. Because Murray can run, so now you got to, it's just.
That's where I think Hopkins is going to slide it up, is when Murray buys time, over the top. And I really think that's going to be. And honestly, we'll talk about this on a different show, but I had Hopkins in one of our leagues, and I could have just franchised him. And instead I franchised him and traded him.
Right. And
man, I think I played that wrong, and we'll talk about it when we get more specifically into that league show. But yeah, I misplayed that. Not because of this trade, just because of the player. I just misplayed it. That's my fault. I blame myself. Since I'm the GM, the coach, the owner, everything else, I'm going to go ahead and blame me.
Hey, Russ, you suck.
Hey, yeah, I hate you, bald piece of crap. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not even discussion. I mean, that guy's
He's a
he's
monster.
pretty good. Yeah.
My favorite is the Cardinals coach that was talking to him like last year, the year before, and he's like, "Hey man, I just want to let you know that you are the best in the league at what you're doing." And he goes, "I know," and walked off. He's listening to him real intently, shaking his head. I know. All right. He just walks off. There you go. See you. Holler. Shoot. All right. Well, we have another meeting in about an hour, and so and I'm gonna eat dinner, so because I'm hungry. So I'm gonna cut this one short, and we'll pick up right here where we left off here with the wide receivers next time, and we'll start with the tight ends on the next show. So any final thoughts or remarks before we wrap it up?
Well, it's draft week.
Man, it's draft week is week.
So
I've told my wife about 4 times a day. She's gone. Oh, you told me earlier today.
Man. So we keep putting these shows out. I think we're gonna make it, man.
Yeah, man. We're gonna be expanding our horizons a little bit and doing some different stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be really good.
All right, man. Well, you and the family, y'all stay safe.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Seeing you, and I'll holler at you later on tonight.
Cool, man. Hey, this is Russell Maybin, Temple, Texas. My best friend Jaye Thompson. We love football, man. We just love Jesus more.
Amen.
Y'all have a great one.